What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. Hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving and hope you're enjoying the Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe some Black Friday, Cyber Monday shopping. First of all, I want to update you guys here on our COVID situation. Yes, we're sick. Me, my wife, and our son Julian. Our son Julian is he's pretty much over it. So he actually went over to my wife's parents' house because he's pretty much over it. And my wife's my father-in-law, he was with us when we went to Disney World in Florida. So he was kind of already with us and already potentially exposed, but he's not really experiencing symptoms. My parents are, but he seems to be okay. But they said they wanted to take him in. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. My wife's still pretty sick. She says she's not getting better. She's still pretty hammered. So there's kind of the update on us. So yeah, we're just kind of resting as much as possible, sleeping a lot, and yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated. So we're up and about, and yeah. So I figured I would jump on here, talk to you guys a little bit, and we'll see what's going on here in the world. So let's jump right in. Here we go. Yeah, so this is your reminder, guys, that the virus is not over. There's still, on average right now, the 7-day average is about 37,000 new cases per day of people catching the virus. So every single day, there's about 37,000 new people testing positive, and this is only, yeah, it was in the 40,000 range, really. It was you can see the numbers here. Um, and this is on a daily basis. This is on a daily basis every single day. And this does not include people that take an at-home test and don't send their results in, which is probably a lot of people. Probably a lot of people. So honestly, these results could be a lot higher. Could be a lot higher. We really don't know. We really don't know. Also, when you look here at the deaths, um, we actually just recently had a very high spike in deaths of what was reported here. You can see the kind of graph here. We just recently had a very high spike in deaths in November that went up to, this data is so all over the place. Um, yeah, we had some days here that uh, went from a few deaths to 12. What was that? 12,000? Yeah, so, trying to decipher this is kind of crazy, but yeah, it's kind of hard. But remember here that over 1 million people in the US have died from the virus or from complications to the virus. I have seen thousands of comments, or at least hundreds, potentially thousands of comments from people right here on this YouTube channel that have had relatives or friends or family pass from this virus. So please remember that it's very real. And I've said this multiple times throughout the months. This is our first time catching it after over 2 years. This is just in the U.S. About 100 million people have caught the virus, and those are only people that have actually went to official testing facilities or reported their results. That's about a third of the entire U.S. population. And in all reality, it's probably a lot more. Probably a lot more. um, just based on what didn't get reported. Also going on here in China, protests erupt because of their COVID lockdown in two major provinces, including Beijing, after a deadly fire. You can see here their zero COVID policy and their tens of millions of people on lockdown there just goes to show you here that things are still going pretty badly over there. Remember here that the White House said back in July, a senior White House correspondent said that the virus is going to be with us forever. The, this is directly from the White House. Their quote was, White House Pandemic Response Coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha delivered a grim message about the ever-evolving coronavirus pathogen that the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, and Prevention estimates that it has infected more than 140 million Americans back in July. So, of course, even more now, including President Biden and former President Donald Trump. Their quote was, "This virus is going to be with us forever." So you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. They said, quote, "It's really, really important that people build up their immunity against this virus, emphasizing that vaccination is the best means of doing so." And the thing about natural immunity is, I was reading a comment from somebody yesterday, and it was somebody who had caught the virus 3 times already. I'm not even sure, what to even think about that with the whole natural immunity thing. That you can catch it 3 times. Where does natural immunity even fall into this? If you can catch it 3 times, uh, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this. But it honestly, it kind of reminds me of the flu, where you can catch the flu every year. Can catch the flu every year. And it kind of reminds me of a flu shot, where you can get a flu shot, and when you get a flu shot, it doesn't mean you won't catch the flu. It typically means that your flu symptoms will be less. It means you have typically mean you'll have less flu symptoms, less chance of dying, and but you can still catch the flu. It doesn't mean you're immune to the flu virus. Remember, it's a virus as well. The flu virus been around for as long as we can remember. Cold virus been around as long as you can remember. And honestly, those viruses probably not going away either. So let me know your thoughts here. Do you think the COVID virus ever going to go away? Or is it going to be like the flu virus and the cold virus, where it's yet another virus we're going to have to live with forever now? Also, Kanye West, also known as Ye, apparently showed up at Mar-a-Lago and asked Trump to be his 2024 running mate. Trump would be the vice president, and Kanye West would be the president. How do you think Trump took to that? Yeah. Here's what Kanye West had to say about former President Donald Trump and his meeting. By the way, also, there was a major white supremacist there, Nick Fuentes, who is a Holocaust denier, who just says that the Holocaust didn't even happen. He was also there as well. And there's a lot of massive controversy over this, that Trump would meet with this guy and publicly, and they've confirmed that he was there. Here's what Kanye West had to say.
Trump was most perturbed about me asking him to be my vice president. I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a and you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Yeah, so imagine Kanye West, Trump, and this white supremacist all sitting there together at the dinner table. Yeah, I don't even know how that went, and they're screaming back and forth at each other. Yeah, I don't. Let me know your thoughts on that. Also, Gavin Newsome, the governor of California, apparently told the White House that he won't challenge Biden for the presidency on the Democratic side if Biden actually runs in 2 years for the Democratic side. The would-be pursuer of Trump and DeSantis is all in, quote, for the president's reelection and is willing to wait his turn. A lot of people on the Democratic side think that they need some new blood as well because of Joe Biden's age. Both Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, if either of them wins, would be the oldest president ever if either of them is reelected. If either of them is reelected. Yeah, so if Joe Biden does run, that Gavin Newsome apparently told the White House he won't challenge Biden. You can let me know your thoughts here on that. Also, early voting has begun in Georgia Senate runoff race to determine the final seat in the Senate that has not been determined after the state's Supreme Court ruling. Court allows early voting on Saturday as polling shows Democrat Raphael Warnock with a lead over Herschel Walker. He did have a slight lead in the final results, but all that is kind of thrown out. Now they will start with a brand new election, and this will determine the Senate seat in Georgia. This will also determine the final seat in the Senate as well, and will give one extra vote to the Democrats if they win, which will mean, maybe extra votes like Joe Manchin aren't as pivotal if they win, or Republicans could win it as well. But remember that the Democrats have locked in the Senate. because of the 50-50 rule, and the vice president is the tiebreaker. Thanks to a Georgia Supreme Court ruling, a week of early voting on Saturday began in nearly 24 counties in the state for a contentious runoff between Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican opponent Herschel Walker. Recent polling commissioned by AARP shows Warnock with a 4-point lead over the Donald Trump-endorsed Herschel Walker ahead of the December 6th election. The survey by Fabrizio and Associate found that Warnock had 51% of support of respondents the first time. Warnock secured a majority this year, compared to 47% for Walker. That's higher than the 49.4% of vote Warnock received in the initial contest on November 8th. That's because there was more than 2 candidates previously. So now it's just the 2 candidates, I believe. The poll found that Black voters and voters under 50 drove support for Warnock in particular, as well as a growing support from independents. For Democrats, a Warnock win would mean that they would secure an outright majority in the U.S. Senate, allowing them to hold majority control of committees and making it easier for Joe Biden appointees to advance. It would also give Democratic lawmakers more security when it comes to passing legislation and allowing them to rely less on adjusting to more conservative Democrats like Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who have repeatedly blocked legislation. Also, it gives them 1 extra Senate seat for the next election around in 2 more years. So let me know your thoughts here on everything, and I'll keep you up to date here. Remember that normally videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been under the weather because of COVID, so we'll see. We'll see here. But make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon down below so you get notifications when we go live here with new videos here every single day. Also, thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos as well, and I'll keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is a new video about new stimulus checks that could be coming to millions of Americans. Some good video there. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.